In this session, I'd like to present something called an e-learning map or an L map. The idea was to try and create a learning environment where the environment was composed of a number of learning threads, based upon on a subway or a metro map metaphor, where each one of the lines through the diagram represented a set of elements that comprised a concept, so that one could begin at the beginning and follow that particular line on the metro and learn about a concept. And the metro map was chosen because it was felt that there were a number of concepts that contributed to multiple learning paths, so that where a metro map shows that the green line and the red line actually cross here in the concept of the learning map, this is the same concept that contributes to this learning path as the green learning path. So what I finally arrived at in Kumu, which I found out was actually quite well suited to doing this, was something that started out as the Systems Thinking Certification Program and finally turned into Enabling a Better Tomorrow. It's a set of learning threads, each one presenting a particular concept, which is listed here on the left, and it's put together in such a way that if a person wants to do the introduction, they come over here and click, and it then goes ahead and selects that set of content that's part of the introduction, deposits the user at the first point of that thread, so that they do this element, they then go to the next element and the next element, and along each element there are things to read, there are videos to watch, such as here is an Insight Maker video that was embedded in a light box. The dashed lines are considered to be related information that one can pursue if interested, though not absolutely essential, to pick up the segments of the learning thread to get from the start to the summary. And when one is finished, when one finally gets to the summary, there is the option to go ahead. Well, there's typically an exercise that says go ahead and do something based upon what you learned in this thread, and what you learned, go ahead and submit it to the group via the discussion capability that's part of Kumu. And I'll talk about the discussion capability when I talk about collaborative learning environments shortly, not too distant future, so that the person can do the exercise and post it in the discussion and then submit it, and all of the participants and the person, myself, can go ahead and review the submission and offer comments, so that the entire community can learn from each other and from the feedback provided on the exercises that they submit. And once they finish this particular thread, they can click in the background, which presents the entire map again, and they can go to the next section. Now, the way this was done, and you can probably say that this is a bit of a cheap shot because there's a couple of things here that I haven't covered yet. To get it to display all these pieces, every item that you see here was defined to be a part of this tag, STHINK. So all of these pieces are part of, have an STHINK tag on them, both the connections and the elements, and the loop label is also tagged the same way. Now the start element is tagged as a start, and the end element is tagged as an end, and I'll show you why I did that. But if you go back to the beginning, if you look at this, it says that, if you look down here at the bottom, it shows that I'm doing an internal reference for the map, which is Enabling a Better Tomorrow, and then I'm saying and the introduction start, which is the first element of the introduction. Let me go ahead. So this is introduction start. And then it says that the focus is equal to, it's a selector that says all of the tags that contain, let's see, all of the elements whose tags contain intro. So it's focusing based upon a selector rather than a number like normally. In other words, if you come down here and use this selector, you can select based upon 0, 1, 2, or 3. Here the selector is actually based upon a set of tags. So this shows one way to use tags. And if you look at these items that are a member of multiple threads and look at it, really, this particular item, which is a member of two different threads, has got two tags on it, so that it's part of EABT and it's part of STHINK. And that happens with the one, so this is a member of EABT and Web of Wonder, so that you have the element part of two different threads, so it will show up if I select Enabling a Better Tomorrow, or it will show up if I select Web of Wonder. So it gives you a sense of a use for tags, and I said I'll cover types and tags very shortly in another section. But to do the coloring, that was done with the perspective, and it was simply to say that this set of connections with the tag intro are a certain color, and the connections with the tag wow are another color, and the tags of STHINK are another color. So the coloring or the decoration of the connections is also based upon the tag that was used to indicate that this connection was part of the Enabling a Better Tomorrow learning thread. And then there's a few other bits and pieces in there in terms of it looked at the element that said with the type of start, it simply made it larger in a different color, and the element of type end was larger with a different color, so that I could go ahead and put the start and the end circles on the learning thread. So actually, while it initially took a bit to figure out, simply because it was sort of uncharted territory, once the first one got figured out, all of the rest of them fell into place very quickly, and it turned out to be a nice environment, so that what it ends up looking like is the entire detailed table of contents for a book, only it's wired together rather than a linear fashion in a set of chapters, and there are certain things that are relevant to multiple chapters, and you get to visually see those connections where it would likely not be evident if it was presented in a linear form. So this is a form of a map that I call an e-learning map, or an L map. And if you have additional questions about this form that aren't clear from this video, just post a note in the comment section for this lecture, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. So hope you found this meaningful, and I'll see you in the next section. Bye.